All right, let's get started, and we're going to talk about the platforms that are at your disposal. Now, it is very important that we're going to look at these platforms that you're very familiar with already through a new lens. We don't want to look at it through the lens of what would be the most fun. Obviously, it's important to have fun as you're creating your new career, but I don't want you to say, oh, I love taking videos, so I'm gonna go with YouTube, or I love taking pictures, so I'm gonna go with Instagram. None of that. We do not want to create a hobby here. We want to create a business, so we need to look at it through a lens of which platform will have the best chance of giving you the future income. And it's not an easy decision, but it's a decision that only you can make. And you're going to have to kind of do a balancing act, because you're going to have to look at the content that you're going to be making, the niche that you're going to be making the content for. And on the other side, you're going to kind of self-examine yourself and think about the skills that you have and skills that you may not have. The money that you have or not have to invest into this, and of course, time. So you will have to figure out what is the best combination of all of that for you. And then based on that, it will be much easier to figure out which platform you're going to go with. And of course, we want to pick just one in the beginning. And you know what? It may not even be a perfect choice. You may have to go back and revisit this, but you want to make that choice with the idea that you're starting a business and not a hobby. And as we go over this, there will be other platforms that you should consider in the future. Obviously, we don't want you to be sitting in just one space. You definitely will have to build on other platforms and kind of around your empire. And we're going to talk about it later on in this course. But for now, we want to make sure that we pick the right one, because by the end of this part of the course, when we go over everything, you will need to make the best decision you can, and only you can make that decision, because there will be a lot of choices you're going to have to make, especially, hey, do you want to pick a social media platform as we know them, like Facebook and YouTube and so forth, where, your guest there, it's possible that your account may be closed at some time, so there are some risks, but there are also a lot of benefits, because, once you're part of this bigger community, you get a search engine, you get so many different things. Or on the other hand, you may want to have a full control and pick something like your own podcast or a blog or a website. But of course, it will be much harder to push this entire ship forward, because you're going to be on your own. But these are the decisions that I want you to make with all of this information in mind. And after that, after you make that choice, we're going to build on top of that and figure out what kind of income sources you want to have. Active, passive, maybe a combination of all of that. But first, let's go through all of them, and we'll start with number one, and I'm sure you can guess which one it is.